does is truly comfort cooking, and if you pair it along with some unique styles and combinations, you get great results, desired effect, but at the same time easy to create. My pork spare ribs today is going along with some maple syrup, some oyster sauce, brown sugar and a dash of red chillies on the side. You pair this along with either some rosemary scented sweet potato or just go old-fashioned and create that glorious mash. Let's get to creating it. Creating these pork spare ribs is all about the marination, and you need to create that in advance, but at the same time just let it rest for about 2 to 3 hours before dunking the entire creation straight into the oven. The marination works really well if you have some Ziploc because it's not a messy affair and everything mixes perfectly well. To start off, I've got about a kg of pork spare ribs, skin out, and I use the thin bone one so that it's more juicier. You just put that straight into the Ziploc bag. Go as messy as you can, it doesn't really matter. The purpose out here is to let the marination get right into the nooks and crannies of this creation. In goes about 150 grams of oyster sauce, and I'm just using a store-bought variant, and that's the best to go right ahead. It just gives you that gooey caramelized texture, along with about 8 cloves of garlic finely minced, because you want that bite size in this creation. 1-inch piece of ginger, 4 red chillies finely minced, 3 tablespoons of this gorgeous muscavado sugar, and I'm using this because I want that sticky, gooey, caramelized texture to come in. Now a burst of freshness comes alive with this flat leaf parsley, and I'm just using a bunch, about 5 tablespoons of the same. For me, marinating pork spare ribs always requires a fine sprinkle of some sea salt, and you need sea salt out here because it just aids in the overall abrasiveness, yet giving it that perfect crackle. Everything coming together with a fine sprinkle of some maple syrup. So I'm using about 50 ml of the same, and I'm just going overboard because this is what gets gloriously charred, beautiful, and has the stickiest of consistencies to enjoy with the rosemary scented roast potatoes. A fine dabble of some freshly milled black pepper, and this is totally optional. You can avoid this if you do not want that extra heat bursting out of these gorgeous spare ribs. And bringing everything together, and that's the best way to marinate when you have a good fat like some olive oil. So about 20 ml of it going in, and it just helps everything stick together. Allow everything to mix, sizzle, and at the same time seal the fat, remove all the excess moisture out, and just keep inverting it and allow everything to mix. Now you allow this to sit for at least 2 to 3 hours before just dunking it into the tray and straight into the oven. With the spare ribs neatly marinated for a good 3 hours, and since I was playing with the dogs, I let it sit for another 15 minutes more. I'm just going to give it that last dash of freshly milled pepper on top. And we're going to put it into the oven, but at the same time with the rosemary scented sweet potatoes. So here I've got about a kg of sweet potatoes that I've peeled and cut into about 1-inch dices, chunky in nature and bursting with flavor. Into that, I'm going to season it with some rosemary lavender sea salt. And it's sweet potatoes, so you need to go a little overboard with the seasoning out here just to balance things out with the sharp scents that the rosemary lavender sea salt has brought to the entire creation. Now goes a dabble of some freshly milled black pepper. So if you're black pepper obsessed as I am, you can go overboard or just add some nutmeg to scent this as well. So a fine sprinkle of nutmeg works really well over here, and not forgetting sprigs of rosemary going in. So just give it, because this is what gives it that burst of flavor. And while you can pick the leaves, you can also go shrubs and all just to elevate and style this gorgeous creation. A fine drizzle of some olive oil on top just so that everything sticks together with each other. A slight tossing, and this goes on another tray bang into the oven. And straight on the tray it goes. Setting the temperature to 160 degrees Celsius. I'm just going to cook this for 90 minutes. I've covered this with foil for the first 60 minutes and then just lift it off so that it gets that slight char but is soft and gooey within. So while this goes on the top rack, my Rosemary Scented Sweet Potatoes go nestled at the bottom. Close it and it's time to get back to reading a book. "90 minutes of perfect baking at 160 degrees. The maple glazed pork spare ribs are ready. 60 minutes up and I took out the rosemary scented roast potatoes just so that they are crunchy on the outside but soft within. With these ready, all we are going to do now is plate this. Movie nights for us here at home have never been more satisfying than with these maple glazed pork spare ribs. The rosemary scented sweet potatoes is that comfort food that is crunchy on the outside and soft and gooey within. These pair beautifully right in the center of the table where everyone just digs in, keeping prerogative of the movie in mind. Don't forget to share loads of love by hitting on the like button, and as I always say, don't forget to subscribe.